You really mean we're gonna be together forever, Desmond? Build our life together right here, sir? Marlene, Jamaica small, and my dreams big. If me get through to go to England, I promise, as soon as me get myself settled, me gonna send for you. Some promises never make it to or from the airport. Desmond had given her the impression that he hadn't even applied for his passport yet. The whole time, he had his trip booked, and he left without a word to Marlene. A few weeks later, after she found out that he had disappeared like a thief in the night, she also found out that she was pregnant. God, give me the strength to raise this child alone. And she did. Through storms, hunger, and heartbreak, she raised her daughter Tia with love stronger than tungsten. Fast forward 15 years, one evening Marlene's phone rings. She answers, "Hello?" Desmond on the other line is hesitant. "Marlene, it's me." She freezes. "Desmond? After 15 years?" Imagine. 15 years of silence, and now words too late, coming from a voice she prayed never to hear again. "Her leukemia is aggressive. We've tested both parents and siblings, no match. The only option left is to test for other biological relatives." That was the moment that Desmond remembered the child he had abandoned. He explained to his wife Claudine about the woman he'd left in Jamaica who claimed she was pregnant by him after he'd departed. She was pragmatic. "Then bring her here. If she can help, she must. And besides, we'll need someone to assist around the house." Even tragedy has its predators. Real jungle. Desmond, on the phone with Marlene, explains, "I made mistakes, Marlene. Let me make it right. Let me take care of Tia." Marlene guardedly responds, "Desmond, is your child, and I understand you want to do right by her, but if I let her come to you, promise me she won't be mistreated. She's my whole world." "On my life, Marlene, I'll treat her better than you have." Some oaths are just another way to excoriate a wound. Marlene drops Tia at the airport in Kingston, nervous. She hugs her tightly and exhorts her. "Call me every night, you hear? Remember, me love you, and be respectful to your father and his wife. My issues with him are my issues with him, not yours." Tia arrived at Heathrow Airport on a day with cold gray skies. Claudine eyes Tia with polite disgust. From the moment she stepped off the plane, she could feel it, a palpable chill. It didn't feel like a family reunion. She went through a montage of medical tests, excruciating procedures, and in the end, she saved her sister's life, but in that house, she had none. Claudine told her, "You're part of this family now, Tia. Everyone must pull their weight," and proceeded to kill her with work. 2 years passed, and when the sick child recovered, they said they no longer needed her. Not her help, not her bone marrow, and definitely not her presence. One rainy night, Claudine exploded on her and hurled, "You should be grateful we even brought you here." Tia, trembling, responded, "I didn't ask for this." She was put out, and she left that house the same way Desmond had left her mother, alone and unbroken. That same night, As she sat at a bus stop wondering what she was going to do, a woman's voice called to her. "You are right, love. You look too young to be out here this hour." Sometimes God don't send angels with wings, you know. He send them in coats with an umbrella and kindness. Miss Sanders took Tia home, gave her some tea, and listened as Tia poured out her shocking story. "I'll call your mother. Don't worry. We'll fix this." Miss Sanders calls Marlene and explains what's happened to her daughter. Tia confirms, and Marlene profusely thanks Miss Sanders while reassuring Tia that she was immediately going to call her father and rectify everything. Marlene, distraught, immediately calls Desmond, who proceeds to lie through his teeth. "Marlene, she rude. She run away with man she meet online. I don't know what kind of upbringing you give that child, but she's a damn shame." Lies, like rotten seeds, spread fast and wide, but truth always burrows down deeply enough to find a vein of sustenance, to nurture itself into a strong, indisputable presence. Miss Sanders uses her connections to get Tia a scholarship to a boarding school in Switzerland. And she crossed the sea, this time not as a donor, not as a tool, not as a utility, not as a maid, but as someone moving toward her destiny. After a year in Switzerland, Tia decided to change her name to Leah Romanesca, a name affiliated with the Romansh people, a Swiss minority group that she felt a sense of kinship with. For the first time in her life, she chose who she would be. She didn't chase revenge, she chased success and peace. She graduated at the top of her class and went straight to work at an architectural firm in Basel, so she could make things easier for her mother back home. She had a virtually non-existent social circle because she had a wariness of strangers after the experiences with her father and his family and the lies that were told on her. There was this one classmate, though, Alex Lorenzi, who, though he'd returned home to Monaco, refused to be daunted by her anti-socialism. Alex, charming, persistent, and used to getting his way, kept trying to get her to visit him in Monaco, but she was unmoved, and they only saw each other when he visited Switzerland. He then proposed a simple deal. "On my next trip, we'll have one formal date, and if you don't smile the entire time we're together, I'll never ask again." Leah agreed, and it was the most fun she'd ever had in her entire life. Their relationship transitioned quickly, and about a year later, he proposed. Their lavish wedding received global press coverage. Alex told Leah that this was important, as one of her wedding presents involved an interview. The journalist asked, "What makes Leah different from all the other girls who were vying for your affections?" Alex smilingly replied, "She's pure in heart, and in truth, I'm proud to say her virtue is unblemished. I married a virgin. She was raised by a hard-working, virtuous woman, my mother-in-law Marlene, in a place called Jamaica, who, despite my wife's father lying and leaving while she was pregnant, raised her with love and kindness. He then revisited their lives when my wife was 15 and summarily evicted her on a cold, rainy night at age 17. Since then, my wife has worked tirelessly to be the best she can be and to make her mother and her benefactor, Miss Sanders, proud." One truth, spoken in love, shattered a plethora of lies. Across England, the liars panicked. Desmond and Claudine had constant arguments. He told her that he wasn't sure Tia was his because Marlene was sleeping around, and that's why he never looked back. This caused contention between them because people were now looking at Claudine as a wicked woman who never compelled her husband to take care of the child that he had abandoned, but brought her to England to be used for her daughter's survival. This, despite Desmond knowing that he had taken Marlene's virginity. Additionally, their friends and co-workers watched the interviews that unveiled everything they'd hidden. Desmond was so embarrassed. You see, they used her blood to save their child, but that same blood had salvaged her dignity and allowed her husband to resurrect her name. Her sister was furious. She thinks she's better than me. She only has all that because of me. If I didn't have leukemia, she would have still been a nobody in Jamaica. The same girl whose life she saved now tried to destroy hers by plastering slander all over the blogs and tabloid comment sections. But the universe doesn't forget. You can't curse the hands that once healed you, then dodge your blighted blessings. After their honeymoon, Alex and Leah visited Jamaica, and in a quiet moment between mother and daughter, a very teary-eyed Marlene said, "Leah, you turned your pain into power, my baby." Leah, smiling, replied, "Mama, you gave me the blueprint."